My name is Travis Wagner, and right here I have some large-scale tanks. So right here, we'll start with the Tiger one that I made. It's a full interior.
Does it take a while to put this back together, or could you do it for us for a minute?
So this comes off, and you can see in there it's all held up by some pins. And then we put the roof back on. Close these hatches up. Get the turret. Set it gently in there. And then the roof is able to close up. Started out, I wanted to do the RC, and it just wasn't working out with the road wheels. I had to go to a smaller scale. And so when I went to the smaller scale, I had to shrink everything down because it wasn't going with the 1/16. And so I was modeling it off of a full interior Tiger. So I decided, let's just go with the full interior, and it turned out pretty good. If we take the turret off, you just have the better view of the ammo racks here, and the engine compartment and the exhaust areas. And then you have the driver and the gunner area too.
This is really cool. I love this. This reminds me of those kind of like artist renderings where you get the cutaway and you can see what is going on inside.
This is my first ever RC thing, and so I knew I wanted to go from a Tiger and kind of stick with the theme of World War II. So I started work on a Panther. It was supposed to come out smaller scale, and it was kind of supposed to be the same scale as the Tiger. But as I was doing it, the road wheels kind of made it longer and longer. And so I went with the 1/16, and it has full suspension. And so that is a torsion bar on the bottom. And I can take it apart for you if you want. So the turret comes up. So you have the turntable here. This will disconnect here. And so here's all the insides. And right now I'm borrowing an S brick, which has been really helpful. And then in the front you can see where the motors are. It's just a 1-to-1 ratio with driving.
So you've got you're using 3 channels here. You have one channel for the left, one for the right, and a third channel to make the turret turn?
Yeah, so the motor's directed right down here, and that's the third channel.
And we'll look at this running on the floor in just a few minutes here. Let's talk about the third tank that you got over here.
So this is my JagdPanther. I feel like I had a really good design for the chassis on the Panther, and I wanted to do some more World War II vehicles, especially Germany. And so I basically used the exact same chassis and mounted the fixed gun and the more angled structure on it.
This is cool, and I love how you've got these, kind of assembled figures. Tell me how you landed on that design.
Well, so I had the larger scale, and I'm a huge fan of the mini land at Legolands. And so I was like, all right, I really like their figures. Maybe I can make my own. So I started designing some kind of German helmets and German caps, and I landed on a design that I really liked. And I think it looked really good, kind of giving the tank some life.
That's awesome. How about the gun here? What do you tell us about that?
Yeah, so this is my third model, and so I started going from the RC and just trying to make some more 1/16 scale models. And so this was my last one that I did. And so you got, your gunner and your loader and the spotter. But what's cool about this is that it uses the tank tracks on some dishes right there as the wheels. And
That looks really cool.
it also incorporates the gun mechanism is able to move back and forth to simulate a recoil. And then it folds up and it can be towed.
That's wonderful. So I see right next to that gun is a power functions controller. So you have S-brick in the Panther, and you've got power functions.
I've got S bricks in both of these right now.
Oh, okay.
But they usually have the power function. You can see where the receiver was, and I've taken that out for the moment.
Oh, because all you have to do is swap the IR receiver for the S-Brick.
Yeah, it's a really simple. It takes maybe 5 minutes.
That's cool. All right, well, you want to put these on the floor and let's see what they got going on?
Yeah, it's getting tested.
And is this format of a tank like this towing a gun like this something that you would see back in this era?
I don't think you'd have the tanks towing the gun, but I initially had some ideas for some trucks, but they haven't been made yet. So right now I just got a tank towing a gun. So.
And how far would you say the range is on the S-Brick that you got in here?
Oh man, 50 feet, more than that. It's really nice.
And is that an improvement on what you had with power functions?
Oh yeah, it's really nice. For the power function, I was maybe getting 5 feet indoors, and now I can be able to drive it across the room, no problem. So here we got the Panther that's going to be running. It features a moving turret that's a little bit different than the JagdPanther that only has the left and right tracks. Here we go.
That adds so much realism when you can drive it around and see that turret move back and forth.
Oh, it's fun to drive. And it drives pretty smoothly.
What can we expect to see from you in the future, Travis?
A lot more tanks.
You got any new ideas for using the S-Brick, expanding the functionality of your tanks?
Yes, I want to do a lot more German tanks, but also maybe some more Allied, and but I also want to make them smaller. And because of the power functions and how big the sensors and batteries are, I have to make my tanks a little bit bigger. So if I want to make smaller tanks, I think the S-Brick would be perfect for scaling down the size.
That's fantastic. Does the turret go all the way around 360?
Yes, it does. And you can do it as many times as you want.
Is that something that would happen in real life? Would they be able to turn it 360 if they needed to?
Yeah, and they can turn it 360 if they have a person or a tank behind them. They can shoot them behind them, anywhere they want.
Travis, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your remote control tanks here in Bricks by the Bay.
Hey, thank you guys so much.